So obviously I went to the captain's day. And
Duggan was leading towards that, I believe.
Yeah. So I joked when I got back that I told all the captains of the other 17 clubs that I would see them next year. Obviously,
that's good.
I do not have any aspirations to do that next year, but it's it was sort of it was a nice little way in for that one.
So the first thing like that was odd about that photo.
No. Oh yeah, sorry. Well, how did you? Why were you there?
Why was the 7th in line leader?
Why were you there?
So we had main training Friday, so it was going to be a big session. It was obviously the week before round 1, so it was fly into Melbourne on Wednesday, fly out Thursday night, and we had a big session Friday morning to sign off on pre-season and have everyone cherry ripe to go for round 1. So. Boots, obviously, with his soft tissue injuries, his age, Luke Shuey, that is, he sort of, I don't know if he weaseled his way out of it, but someone has pulled him out.
Would have been him.
And there was a lot of, because it was such last minute, like I found out Tuesday that I was going. So, there was like...
What were McGovern and Barras doing?
Yeah, don't know. Well, TB just had his newborn.
Okay.
So I was TB, fine, you're out of the question, mate. You've got a busy week. Gov hated him for 2 days.
Gov always gets out of this stuff. Yeah. There's always something.
Hated him for 2 days. Oscar hated for 2 days. Boots, I was filthy at. Like I don't get very angry very often, but I was filthy. Even so much, I fought for myself a little bit not to go. And then they were like, oh, right, we'll send Dom. I was like, oh, hang on, wait. No. Like, I'll go. I don't want like someone else to have to go because I'm pulling out.
Was it the travel or was it the you not being captain?
No, it was more the travel, and I was like, my knee's not exactly in the most prime position it could be. And I had a disjointed pre-season. I needed another big session too, just to set my pre-season up. Like I was a little bit behind the boys already. But I'd come off like a cortisone and stuff, and that was their way of thinking it. And to be honest, I'd kicked up a bit of a stink, like everyone did though. Like no one was putting their hand up.
They've never held it in Perth. I might add, Duggo won't say this, but never had the captain's briefing in Perth. That'd be nice.
Yeah, probably 11 of the captains are in Melbourne.
I said that, not you. Continue.
But I was sort of, once I got there, it was honestly, I was a little bit embarrassed because I was like, look, I'm not the captain. Like, are the other 17 captains even going to know? Like, potentially Jared Witts has no idea who I am. Like, I don't really cross paths with him even on game day. Like, he's not doing his oppo analysis and I'm popping up in there like he's a threat.
You've been way too harsh on yourself. No, it's quite funny.
It was sort of just how I justified myself being so filthy at the reason I was going. But when I got there, I did have a good experience. I enjoyed what I saw. It was a sort of a full-on day. The media stuff and all that, it was like, that's just had to be done, that sort of stuff. But just to meet, some other blokes that I'd never crossed paths with, and the whole experience of pretending to be a captain for a day, it was, it wasn't the worst experience of my life. So yeah, I did apologise to
all pretty normal blokes. Like
very like it. Not that I'm not surprised. No. That sounded a bit surprised. Like,
I think people generally would look around and even players, you don't know them.
Yeah. So. Well, the funniest thing is, like, some of them are like genuine, competitive beasts on the field. Like Toby Nankervis, for example, like he is an angry man on the football field and plays that way and rucks that way and just like dominates the field. But he was one of the nicer blokes that I'd come across, and he actually helped me out quite a bit because we both didn't want to be there as equally as each other. So he was not one for the media. Like, he was the one at the back with me while we're all walking up the race and the cameras are out. And mind you, the other 17 clubs were represented by a captain. So I was the one and only, which I think in years gone past, there's maybe been a couple here and there who are filling in. So
usually they send the vice captain or something.
Yeah.
That's on Barras. That's on Barras and McGovern.
Yeah. But they genuinely did have things booked in that were hard to move around. And I did have something booked in, but I did have to apologise to Nutri and Ag for that.
Dan took a keen interest in the photo.
Yeah. How do you feel about the photo?
Terribly. Terribly. Well, I could not look. I'm bigger than Zach Merritt. I know that for a fact, but I look like half his size.
So what's happened? What's happened there?
I don't know if my chair was... Well, first of all, they put me in between Witts and Gawn, who are two of the biggest men you'll ever stand next to, let alone sit down.
And you're sitting.
Yeah, so I'm sitting, and I reckon my chair's a little bit further back, because I've been mindful in the past of hunching my shoulders in team photos and stuff because I have been like I've dwarfed myself a few times between some bigger blokes. So I thought I've had a focus of keep my shoulders up and chin up and all this, but it really did not come out that way. So probably a good thing though. Like wasn't my job to be there. Luke Shuey didn't rock up, so I've just sort of faded away into the shadows of Big Gawn and Witsy.
I think your problem was, and what we'd heard from Alex Pearce was that they put the top 4 at the front.
Yeah.
So they had
Bulldogs, Brisbane, Geelong, Sydney.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Collingwood's there too.
and Collingwood. So I think they had the top 6. So you should be in that area for your height for the photo to be right. Like that was me in school, always sitting at the front.
That's where we are, yeah.
But because Darcy Moore's taken probably your spot, and
Why is he 3 times the size of what he actually is as well? Was that?
I just photoshopped that.
What was that?
Yeah, so Dan, right here, sitting at home, photoshopped it and it went viral.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah, so
You're in the flesh, mate.
That's grown legs, massively.
Yeah, I know. So I saw because he already looked a little bit too big, and that's because I didn't realize they put all the top 4, top 6, or whatever at the front.
Yep.
So I was like, that's funny. Darcy looks too big to be there. I'm just going to make him a tiny bit bigger so it looks even worse. And then the photo started getting tweeted as if it was real. There was like a Herald Sun journalist that was like, hey, everyone, just to let you know, I was there. Darcy wasn't photoshopped in. This is definitely legit.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no.
Oh, mate, that's worked so well.
Well, I'm looking at one where you're doing they've obviously said, hey, just just be casual, have a chat.
One,
yeah.
Who are you looking at there?
And what are you saying?
You can tell a joke too.
Yeah, I reckon
You're looking.
So Luke was good. Luke McDonald next to me, he was good. So I reckon he's just told me an absolute corker there. But no, that was probably the most awkward part of the whole day because that. So I think Piercy talk about the didn't want to be selected last. I felt like, or maybe that was, I don't know. Maybe I spoke about that with someone else, but I
seated last or
they were sort of one by one pulling you into where you needed to go, and I was down to the last 3.
Who was it?
And I thought, do not leave me out here by myself. It might have actually been Jack Steele, St Kilda, because I reckon he's on the end there, and maybe I can't tell you who the other one was, but I was selected 3rd last.
Why didn't you want to be out there by yourself?
Because it was the most awkward time. Like everyone else sitting down talking to their mates, their other fellow captains, and I would have been standing. Like I was 10 metres off the side. Like where we all congregated for this photo was 10 metres to the side, and no one moved in slowly as they were coming to pull you in to get your seat. So I was still 10 metres away from these seats here. So it would have been a pisser of a photo if you had got me by myself out there with everyone else sitting down.
Part of you think like they're going to just leave me out of the pick?
Yeah, I honestly walked around the media outlets, and especially the first hour of the media stuff was like all the AFL sort of protected media. So we did that in a different area, and I walked around to each of them. I said, "Look, mate, I'm not the captain. If you don't want to speak to me, you don't have to speak to me." And most of them were good. Most of them had a chat. Some had different lists that they didn't chat to everyone, but I just made it clear that I didn't put my hand up to be there. I was sort of just here.